Hi friends, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today I'm here to discuss some apps and things that I use to make my reading experience better. Let's jump right into it. So today I'm really excited to be diving into a couple of the things that I use all the time when I am reading. So I think that most of us know that there are sites that can track your reading. Most of the time, people are using GoodReads. I have stepped away from GoodReads this year, which has led me to find some other gems that I really wanted to talk about because there's a lot out there that I feel like isn't being talked about quite as much that truly do enhance the reading experience. One of them is the sponsor of today's video. This video is going to be sponsored by Likewise, which I will be discussing because they are a fantastic app that is 100% free to download, and they do provide an amazing community-run recommendation system. They do also have like a today section where they will recommend you different things, but most of the time it's the community doing the recommendations, and it is chef's kiss perfect. I will get into that in a minute. Today is just going to be the apps, and I am going to start with Likewise just because I am so thrilled with this app. It has changed a lot about the way that I read and the way that I engage with the Bookish community. Because I have a lot more limited time to read and to engage in things like YouTube, I have really gone deep on Likewise. So first, let me show you a little bit about what the app looks like. So essentially, you download the app, you create a profile, and then you can scroll. When you open the app in the morning, which is when I usually open it, you'll get your today screen, and you can swipe through and see all of the things that the Likewise app, based on things that you've already liked on their app, has recommended for you. So at the beginning, you'll take like a quick little survey about different podcasts you like, TV shows, movies you like, books you've liked. And then based off of that, and then as you continue to use the app, their recommendations for you get better and better and better. And I love that. So I usually scroll through there, see if there's any little hidden gems. And because I'm relatively new to it, a lot of the times I'll still find ones that I have read that they don't know I've read yet, and I mark it as read. So you can mark it as read, and then after you've done that, you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you did or didn't like it. And then that kind of dictates how they then recommend you things in that today little section. But one of the things that I really love about Likewise is that they have a newly launched community and groups feature. Before, it was kind of like a recommendation site, right? I use it for books, but there's movies, there's TV shows, there's podcasts. If you want Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, any streaming service, any kind of genre of show and movie, they have different groups and communities for all of those that you can join, and they have really niched communities where you can get recommendations from people who already are really passionate about that little niche, which is really cool. Or if you're new to a particular niche, you can go there and ask for recommendations, and like the pros are there. Instead of before, if I was looking for a specific kind of book, I would go to YouTube and put in book recs for blank and see what videos came up. And a lot of the times they weren't necessarily books that I was interested in. They were ones that were a little bit outdated, or I ended up in a YouTube spiral, and I don't have the time for that anymore. So the great thing about Likewise is I can go right into the community for the kind of book that I'm looking for. And if I don't see something right off the bat, I can ask people, hey, I'm looking for this kind of book, or I just got done reading this book and I'm looking for something along the same lines, or I want something completely new, but I know I like LGBTQ like characters and also magical beasts. What can you recommend me? And then, you know, the community themselves will recommend you books, which is amazing. And it happens so fast. In the communities, there are asks where you can ask for recommendations. There's discussions where you can say, I just finished this book. It was so phenomenal. I'm looking for people to talk to about it. And then you guys can discuss the books. There's also lists where I personally have created some lists of like books on my TBR that I think might make me cry, or underrated emotional books. One of the reasons that I am so excited about this app is that I am working with them, not just for this sponsored video, but also because I am one of the hosts on their app. So I am leading the Tearjerker Tales group. The link for that will be the first thing in the description down below. I really encourage you to come and support both my channel and the app by joining my group if you want anything that's like emotional tales. Now, they're not all, you know, sad stories. Sometimes they're happy cries. Sometimes they're just things that give you all the feels. We're talking about all the different kinds of books across a whole bunch of different genres. You should come hang out with me there. And it really has filled a gap where if I know I want X kind of a book, I can go and get recommendations right away. And I love that it's community based. It's not a bot that's trying to fill that hole. It's actual people saying, I've read this book, I know it fits these themes, you're gonna love this book, and they can add comments and you can go back and forth. It's been so much fun talking to people on there. So much fun. I'm so glad that they launched this new community feature because it really has up to the app. I used it prior to and then after this launch, and the engagement on the app is so phenomenal. Now, there's not DMs. You're not going to be getting messages from people. You're not going to get creepy old dudes trying to talk to you on GoodReads, because that's been happening. You all know it has. It's just genuinely a cool place to be. What I love too is that you can also save books. So there's an option to say, yes, I've read this book, I liked it, I didn't like it, but you can also save it, which just basically creates a living TBR on the app. Love that for myself. It has saved me so much time because then I'm not on YouTube, I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on any other site trying to find book recommendations. I can go there and they're just provided for me by the community, by people who have actually read the books, and they're really promoting books that they love. So you're getting like some other people's 5-star recs. Also, be on the lookout for some information about the live chats. Likewise is going to be doing like live podcasts with all the hosts, and I will be doing those. So they will be audio only, but we will be doing little chats with the community. So stay tuned for that information. I'm very excited about them. Now that I have raved about Likewise, because it truly is just the best discovery of this year for me, I'm going to move on to the other things that I've been using. And what I have not been using is GoodReads. Now, I will say, Likewise is linked to GoodReads, and they're also linked to Amazon. So you can buy a book that you're interested in directly through an Amazon link from their app, or you can look at GoodReads ratings right from their app. So if you're recommended a book over and over again, you want to know what the average rating is, it is linked to GoodReads, so you can see the GoodReads rating right there in the Likewise app. I'm not using GoodReads anymore. I am using the StoryGraph, and I flippin' love it. It is the best. I'm able to track all my progress. I'm able to make comments about my progress. I am able to find great book recommendations there as well, although they are like auto-generated from like the computer. So it's not quite the personalized thing that like Likewise is, but it is so user-friendly. The graphs and the metrics and the statistics that they give you right off the bat are phenomenal. If I'm looking for a fast-paced read, I can go there and put in the metrics of wanting a fast-paced read under 300 pages, and they will give me books. I will never go back to GoodReads. I check every now and then just to clear out my notifications, make sure that I'm allowing friends just because I don't want to be rude, but I am not using GoodReads. I have not touched it all year long, and I haven't missed it at all. The StoryGraph is phenomenal. They're also listed down below, but like fantastic. I also signed up for their early bird special, which means I did pay to help them build their community and build their platform early on in the launch. Never looked back. Don't regret it. 100% love them as a book tracking system. Absolutely phenomenal. If you're getting frustrated with GoodReads, head on over to the StoryGraph because you can give quarter-star ratings. You can give any ding-dang rating you want. They have a great system for also putting on content warnings. It's great. I don't have a single complaint about it, and if you do, they're phenomenal at taking feedback and then implementing those changes so that the community is fully happy with the app. It is amazing. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. The two apps that I'm using the most right now are the StoryGraph and Likewise. After the two of those, I would have to say my most used apps are Overdrive and Hoopla. These are pretty standard if you have a library card in the US. If you have a library card, you can go on to Overdrive and you have access to ebooks and audiobooks for free from your library. Then Hoopla, some libraries pay into this system, and I believe it's nationwide. And then depending on the size of your branch and the budget that I guess they have, you get a certain amount of lens every month. And Hoopla is audiobooks, there are movies, TV shows, music as well. There's a whole host of things there, as well as ebooks, graphic novels. Get a lot of free graphic novels from Hoopla, and you get, I think I get 7 downloads a month, but I know people that get 3 and I know people that get 15. So it really does vary, and your library does have to subscribe with Hoopla. It's not necessarily a given, but Overdrive, I believe, is, if you have a library card, you're good to go with Overdrive. And I use the 2 of those exclusively for audiobooks. I do not pay for audiobooks. I do not have an audiobook paid for service. I only use Hoopla and Overdrive. So between that and my Kindle app on my phone, ooh, I don't need anything else. I can get my recommendations, I can track my reading, and then through my Kindle, my Hoopla, or my Overdrive, I can read whatever I want. And it has been a lifesaver. I do not have a ton of time to read, so when I do, I need to go and be as effective as possible. I need to dive right in. I can get exactly the kind of book that I'm looking for, I can track it really easily, and then I can read it really easily. It has been a phenomenal package of apps for me personally, but there are some other ones I wanted to go over as well. Libby is one that I don't use as much, and I probably should. I think with Libby you can do different speeds. You can speed up a little bit more, and I think Libby is just like Overdrive 2.0. It's like the updated Overdrive. I use it every now and then, but I will say I'm kind of a stickler. Like, I'm old school and I prefer Overdrive. I don't know why, but I just do. Libby does not have a search engine that's as user-friendly for me personally, so I usually have to search something up on Overdrive, and then knowing that my library has it, then go to Libby and just put it in, because it doesn't search very well, in my opinion. So Libby is also an option. Wattpad, I've been trying to stay away from, because you can get sucked into some free stories. Like, that is just authors putting out work, short stories, fanfic, and I got sucked in for a little bit on a couple of authors who had newsletters. They were pointing people towards their Wattpad stories, and I lost a lot of time. But it's an option if you're out there and you want some free indie content. Wattpad is probably the place for you. Go check it out. I will also say that Beanstack is something that I've been using for work. It's what the children use to track their summer reading for their school. It doesn't really give much room for like ratings and things like that, but you can track how many minutes you've read and how many pages you've read, and it'll kind of pace and give badges based on how much you read and how long you've read, and you track that consistently through the summer for the children. And I think it is geared towards younger kids, but if you have younger kids, it could be a great motivator for helping them stay on track with reading, because those little badges when they do things and they hit milestones and how much they've read can be really fun. I know the kids at I-94 really love it. One of the other apps that I think is really coming up there for the bookish community is Discord, which started off as a gaming server, and now it is huge for book lovers. There's a lot of buddy reading going on over there. I have a Discord server listed down below. I haven't been very active in it, again, because I haven't been reading, but I did set it up as a place to go and buddy read. And I do know of multiple different like readathons and buddy reads that are run over there. And I am somewhat active on the platform. I've got to say I'm still learning it, but if you're looking to organize a bookish community that is not on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and you want to be able to talk to one another as you buddy read a book, it's a pretty great place to do it, and it makes it relatively user-friendly. So I think Discord is quickly becoming a bookish app, and it is stored on my phone as one of my bookish apps. And so those are all of the bookish apps that I personally use. Now, I know that there's other ones that I don't use. I heard somebody recently talking about Pango Books, which is a place where you can sell your books, kind of like a Depop, but specifically only for books. So that's an option. I do have it downloaded, but I haven't gotten to a place where I'm selling books yet. So I'm not using Pango Books, but I believe that when a time comes that I do want to sell books like that, I will probably use that app. So if you're looking at a book-specific place to sell your books, maybe check out Pango Books. Madefire I came across, and this is one that kind of like animates the cells of graphic novels. Now, I believe that you have to download it and then buy all of your graphic novels through Madefire, and then they'll animate them. You can't just like import them. It's not a free app. It's an in-app purchase app. if that makes sense. But if you're super into graphic novels and you kind of want to see them come alive, then that might be good for you. There is Blinkist. Blinkist does have a paid for monthly subscription that is for nonfiction books, and I believe it condenses nonfiction reading into like a 15 to 30 minute session. So you might take a nonfiction book or a subject that you're interested in, but you just don't have the time to invest in reading the entire book, and they kind of cliff notes it for you. I believe in an audiobook version. Don't quote me on that, but if you're super into nonfiction, you have something that you're really interested in learning more about, but you don't have the time to invest in, that might be worth it for you. If you wanted to just treat it almost like a masterclass, do it for a month, input as much as you possibly can about a certain topic in a month, then that might be something that's cost effective for you. You can check that out if you're interested. And then there's Bookly, which I believe is also a paid for subscription that tracks your reading, and that tracks like how many pages you read per a certain amount of time. So you set like a timer, like, hey, I'm starting to read, and then you tell them when you stop, and then how many pages that you've read, and they give you all different kinds of metrics on your reading. Again, it's a paid for service. It's not something that I feel like I need. I'm not looking for that kind of in-depth information about my reading time, especially because it's so sporadic. It's an option. Those are other ones that I've heard are a little bit more popular, but again, they're not ones that I'm using. I am primarily, and I mean daily, on Likewise, on the StoryGraph, probably just the two of those every day, but at least the two of those every day. And then either Overdrive or Hoopla more often than not. But out of all of those, maybe Discord once a week. But yeah, I've got to say that Likewise has become just kind of like a part of my everyday. And not just because I'm running a group and I need to be in there as the host to kind of like lead the troop through the emotional tolls of books, but also just because it's a really fun place to be and I'm genuinely enjoying being a part of the community over there. Like I said, my link is the top one down there in the description. I'll also have it on the screen right here, but you should come and check me out. It supports me and my channel. I appreciate you supporting me and my channel, and I hope I see you over there. Make sure to send me a hello once you follow me, or recommend me some good books in the group. I hope I see you navigating the communities. It's a ton of fun. Thank you again to Likewise for sponsoring this video. That's going to be it for me, but let me know if I have missed an app that is just like so obvious. Again, I don't have a ton of time for apps, so I'm trying to really hone in on what I need as like essentials, and I feel like I have that, but if I have missed something like super crucial, let me know in a comment down below. Have you already discovered all of these? Did I introduce you to anything new? But that's going to be it for this one. If you liked this video, and I hope you did, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, friends.